Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a pleasant, good, late evening, afternoon right here on the Louis Sports Network. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your post notifications are turned on. Make sure you're sharing on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate it. Hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday afternoon/evening. I've seen people at the park. I've seen people at the beach. People going to City Island. And right now, everybody's enjoying themselves, man. A lot of people outside. But once again, guys, appreciate you guys as always, man. Peace and blessings to everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday. On to the video. Now, we're going to talk about my man. Actually, no, we're just going to talk about the bloodline, because we are going to acknowledge. No, Roman Reigns, we are not going to acknowledge you, your tribal chief. We are going to acknowledge the MVP of this entire bloodline storyline. And that is none other than the man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jey Uso. The reason I'm saying that is because I missed SmackDown on Friday, so I ended up going on YouTube and looking at the channel WWE on 5. 16-minute segment on pretty much the entire segment with Roman and from what he said last week. And the question being, is Jey gonna fall in line with the bloodline? Excuse me. We had the little segment with Paul Heyman and, Roman talking about possibly Jey falling in line or not, if he's spoken to Jey or anything like that. So Roman is basically saying you need to go speak to him and all that. Paul ran into him in the hallway. I just call it the hallway. It's not a hallway, but it just kind of reminds me of one for some reason. But anyway, he talks to Jey, and he's basically talking about how it's Jimmy's fault that Jey lost a chance to be United States champion against Austin Theory. And Jey was like, I get all that. He said, but if I'm in, you're out. And that's what he told Paul Heyman. And so he came back and pretty much told Roman, if he spoke to him, and, pretty much Solo kind of chased him off. And then Roman Reigns was like, easy, man. He said, don't worry, man. I got this. Calm down. And he said, whatever you say, my tribal chief. So, Roman comes out and he's basically talking about how the blame is on Jimmy. This is all his fault as to why things are kind of breaking apart with the bloodline, because of the fact that he's super kick. For those who don't know, Jimmy's super kick. He was the first one to super kick Roman at the last pay-per-view. And he basically looked at Jey, and Jimmy said, I did what you should have did a long time ago, right? So in continuing, Jey comes out, and they're going, Roman's trying to manipulate him and basically saying like, oh yeah, Jimmy, this is his fault, and with what you've done, you've been able to main event pay-per-views, you've been able to, be able to be a star. And he said, you're gonna be the tribal chief, but not now. And basically, Jey was trying to say to Roman that Paul Heyman needs to be out. And Roman's just laughing it off. And he was like, listen, man, you're going to be the tribal chief, man. I'm grooming you to be the tribal chief, just not right now. He said, when it's your time, you can pick anybody you want. But the wise man isn't going anywhere. And he basically said that he's not just my wise man. He's the wise man for the entire bloodline. And Roman's like, I'm running it, but it's like, but we're doing this together. He's the wise man for all of us. And so right as Jimmy I think Roman was about to say something again, that's when Jimmy comes out and he's like, yo. And he said, and Roman was basically saying, Jimmy is the problem. Your brother's the problem. And he said, no, your brother's not the problem. It's your cousin. And Jimmy goes on and basically is like, yo, listen, man, your blood. He said, you gonna listen to this crap that's coming out of his mouth? He said, he's using you, bruh. He's using you, bruh. So basically he's saying that, right? And when he says that, then Jimmy just takes the mic and he's pacing back and forth. Once he takes the mic, he basically puts the mic and then he starts talking and he tells Jimmy, he said, man, oh, no. Roman, before that, basically Roman was saying that, Jimmy was jealous of Jey. Basically that he was jealous of him when he main evented, right? when he was doing all those main events and all that, and which is why he was kind of like telling him to not fall in line. And Jay was like, you know, he was befuddled and like get him a credulous look. And he's like, is this true? And Jimmy's like, yeah. And so he's like, so all this time, he said, all this time, man. He said, you didn't believe in me? He said, man, I expected from them. He said, but not you. He said, man, I've been trying to keep up with you, man, ever since we were kids. Damn. And then Jay just goes off, man. He's like, yo, you know, Mr. Athlete this and Mr. da-da-da-da-da, you Mr. this and Mr. that. He said, man, when you got injured and Jimmy tore his ACL, he said, man, I'm the one that stepped up. I stepped up. I was the headlining pay-per-views. He said, you know why? He said, you know why? We're relevant. He said, we got a name. You know, people know us now. And Roman was dissing the crap out of the Usos. He said, because they didn't know y'all 10 years ago. And he said, ever since I became the tribal chief, he said, and gave you opportunity, he said, you got recognized all of a sudden, man. You guys got recognition, and that's because of me. And so, and then Jay's pretty much regurgitating the same thing that Roman said. He said, man, the reason that they know us now, they know who we are now, they recognize us now. And he said, you know why? It's because of him. And then Roman raises that, and then Paul Heyman just being that screwdriver, just angsting it. He said, hey, yeah, you know, that's right or whatever, right? And so Jay's like, so you know what? He said, Oos, you out. And Roman's just laughing and smiling. And then, oh my God, the acting by both Jimmy and Jay was incredible. Jimmy looks to the side like, you know, he can't believe it. Like, it looks like that he's about to get a beat down from you know, Roman and Jay and Solo. But then Jay hits him with the surprise. And he said, and I'm out too. And then the super kick heard around the world. Roman selling the kick. Solo's acting and the way he looked down at Roman after he got super kicked. The whole crowd was in a buzz. Paul Heyman in total shock. You know, Roman pulling back on the ropes, like couldn't even believe it, and Jay couldn't believe it, and then Solo gets pissed. He tries to clothesline and attack Jay. Jay ducks, gets a super kick from Jimmy, and then both of them super kick Solo out of the ring. And Jay is hyped, Jimmy's hyped, the crowd's going crazy, and you're like, damn, is the Bloodline really about to disintegrate? And this is the crazy part about the Bloodline storyline as of late. It's been taking a new twist and turns. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that they added Matt Riddle. It just made absolutely no sense, as just to put him as a villain. You know, keep the noise in the background, so don't worry, man. I'll pretty much drown that out, man, as soon as I edit this video. But then Roman starts going off. They show an exclusive like right after. And he's like, you're not supposed to leave me. I'm the tribal chief. We're in this together. You're not supposed to do me. You kick me, leave me. So then Roman goes to attack Jay. And both Jimmy and Jay super kick Roman. And Roman, incredible sell by Roland on the bump he took from that double super kick. And that was pretty much the end of the segment. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this, man. Roman definitely deserves the tribal chief name. He's been incredible throughout this 3-year run. Let's not also undersell the fact that Roman's acting has been incredible too. But at the same time, and I know he's got that 1,000+ day reign, and that's why I hail my tribal chief. I love this Bloodline storyline. I know some people think it's stale and it's run its course and it's taken way too long. But the MVP of this entire thing throughout the 3 years in this storyline, with the intricate pieces of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens and Solo and Sami Zayn, and obviously you got Jimmy and obviously Paul Heyman. The MVP of this segment, of this entire Bloodline segment, is none other than Jey Uso. And now we got to ask ourselves the questions. Is he going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns and be the next in line as the head of the table, the tribal chief? Ladies and gentlemen, your tribal chief in the future. I mean, or do you think Roman is still the tribal chief? And the only question is, when is it going to last? Here's another thing I don't like, ladies and gentlemen, and I mentioned this. Roman Reigns was given the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship, but the problem is Paul Heyman's carrying around the other two belts, and I'm presuming that Roman is going to defend the one that he's got draped on his shoulder. But shouldn't he get rid of both of those belts since it's already been combined into one? I just don't understand what the point of it is if he's holding, now he's walking around with 3 championships. I wonder what they're going to do with that. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, it's now become the family feud, as I like to call it. So Money in the Bank that's supposed to happen on July 1st is going to have the tag team match, and man, it's gonna have some heat. Well, you have Roman and Solo going up against the Usos with Jimmy and Jay. This is going to be crazy, man. I wonder if there's going to be any interferences, and I hope not. But I just want to reiterate the fact of that segment that happened on SmackDown, and Jay being the MVP of this entire Bloodline storyline, along with being the Tribal Chief in Roman Reigns and aligning himself with Paul Heyman. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy with another one. What did you guys think of the segment with Jay turning on Roman, and now the Uso brothers turned against him, his 2 cousins, and only have their only other brother, their younger brother Solo, on his side. Solo, I think, is eventually going to turn on him, but we got to wait to see how the rest of this plays out, because as Roman says, we're not just giving you an appetizer, we're giving you a full course meal. So let's see how they play this up going into Money in the Bank and further down the line to SummerSlam, because SummerSlam is in Detroit, but we'll see. Bless up, live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think.